The spotlight hit Daniel like a freight train, blinding him as the studio audience gasped in unison. "Evelyn Harper," he choked out, his voice cracking over the live microphone. "That's my mother's name, the woman who swore I was never born to her." In that frozen second, the world tilted, and 20 years of buried screams clawed their way to the surface. Daniel Harper had always known he was a glitch in the American dream his family chased so fiercely. Born in the Rust Belt grid of Youngstown, Ohio, to a steelworker father who died too young from black lung and a mother who stitched dreams into factory uniforms, he grew up in a house where love was doled out like government cheese. Practical, portioned, and never quite enough. Evelyn Harper was the queen of denial, her Bible-thumping faith a shield against the cracks in her perfect Protestant facade. "We're Harpers," she'd say, her voice sharp as a switchblade. "We don't bend for the devil's whispers." But Daniel bent early, secretly, in the shadowed corners of his high school locker room, stealing glances at the quarterback's sweat-slicked neck. It started innocently enough, or so he told himself. At 17, during a sweltering summer Bible camp in the Pennsylvania hills, Daniel met Isaiah Cole. Isaiah was everything Youngstown wasn't. Tall and lithe like a willow in a windstorm, with skin the color of polished mahogany and eyes that held the quiet storm of someone who'd seen too much too soon. He was from Philly, shipped off to camp by a grandmother who prayed harder than she cooked, escaping a city that chewed up black boys like him and spat out statistics. They bonded over stolen cigarettes behind the mess hall, trading stories of absent fathers and mothers who loved with conditions. "My mama says God's got a plan," Isaiah drawled one night, his southern lilt softened by Philly streets. "But I think he's just winging it, like the rest of us." By the end of camp, those stolen moments had woven into something unbreakable. A brush of fingers under the stars, a whispered "I see you," that felt like absolution. Daniel returned home lighter, his heart a secret balloon inflated with possibility. But Youngstown had no room for balloons. It pricked them with factory whistles and church bells. Evelyn noticed the change immediately. Her boy's smiles too quick, his eyes too distant. "What's got you mooning like a lovesick calf?" she'd prod, her hands floury from biscuit dough. Daniel dodged, buried it under chores and football practices he faked enthusiasm for. Isaiah's letters came like lifelines, folded into comic books and hidden under floorboards. "Miss your laugh. Philly's cold without you. I see." College was supposed to be the great escape. Daniel scraped scholarships to Ohio State, majoring in communications because words had always been his weapon, sharper than fists. Columbus buzzed with a freedom Youngstown could only dream of. Rainbow flags fluttering on High Street, drag brunches spilling laughter into the dawn. But freedom came with its own chains. He came out to his roommates first, a fumbling confession over cheap beer that ended in backslaps and, "You're cool, man." Evelyn's call that weekend shattered the buzz. "Danny, honey, I heard from your cousin. Said you been experimentin'." Her voice was ice over phone lines. "That's not my boy. Harpers don't. We don't do that." The denial started small, a seed in fertile soil. Evelyn rewrote history in her mind, claiming Daniel's phase was Satan's mischief, reversible with prayer circles and a good Christian girl from church. Letters from Isaiah arrived less frequently, postage stamps from Philly community colleges where he studied graphic design, sketches of cityscapes with hidden hearts. Daniel hoarded them like contraband, reading by flashlight when homesickness clawed at his ribs. Their first real reunion was a stolen weekend in Pittsburgh, halfway between worlds. Isaiah showed up in a borrowed Camaro, dreads tied back, wearing a faded Sixers jersey that hugged his frame just right. They drove aimlessly, windows down, blasting Motown remixes until the skyline blurred into night. In a dingy motel off the interstate, with the hum of semis as their soundtrack, they crossed the line from boys to men. Isaiah's touch was reverent, mapping Daniel's freckled shoulders like uncharted territory. "You're safe here," he murmured against Daniel's collarbone. And for the first time, Daniel believed it. They talked futures. Isaiah dreaming of murals in abandoned warehouses. Daniel pitching stories to NPR. "We'll make it," Daniel promised, tracing the scar on Isaiah's knuckles from a street fight he never detailed. New York. Lights big enough to hide in, bright enough to chase. But shadows followed. Evelyn's letters turned venomous, laced with scripture and ultimatums. Come home for Christmas, or don't come home at all. Daniel went, steeling himself like a soldier. The family dinner was a minefield. Aunts clucking sympathies, uncles grumbling about the gays ruining TV. Evelyn sat at the head, her smile a porcelain mask. Danny's just focused on his studies, she announced, as if his queerness was a minor elective. When they were alone, she cornered him in the kitchen, her grip on his arm bruising. You're breaking my heart, boy. Pretend it's a dream, and it'll fade. It didn't fade. Isaiah's calls became the pulse under Daniel's skin, late-night whispers sustaining him through finals and frost. By junior year, Daniel had interned at a Columbus news station, his voice steady on camera reporting campus protests. Isaiah, meanwhile, was grinding in Philly, freelancing posters for queer poetry slams. Their love was a transatlantic wire, video chats flickering with lag, packages of mixtapes and Polaroids. But distance bred doubt. When you comin' down? Isaiah asked one grainy night, his face pixelated with worry. Mama's rampin' up. Says if I don't straighten, she'll disown me for real. The first crack came unannounced. Daniel's phone buzzed during a shift at the station. A voicemail from an unknown number. Evelyn's voice, trembling. I told the pastor. He says we can pray it out. But if you bring that boy here, we're done. Daniel deleted it, but the echo lingered. He drove to Philly that weekend, unannounced, bursting into Isaiah's cramped studio apartment smelling of turpentine and takeout. They collided like storm clouds, urgent and electric. She can't touch us, Daniel gasped, as Isaiah pulled him close. But in the afterglow, doubts seeped in. Isaiah's grandmother had passed, leaving him untethered, and the city was whispering temptations. Other artists, easier connections. Fall turned to winter, and Evelyn's siege intensified. She showed up at OSU uninvited, her station wagon packed with Tupperware and tracks. Let's talk, son, she said in the dorm lounge, eyes darting at the pride sticker on his laptop. Daniel's roommates had mercifully cleared out. Ma, I'm happy. Isaiah, he's good to me. Her face crumpled, not with acceptance, but fury. That boy's poison, black, godless, turning my white boy against his blood. The racism hit like a slap, unspoken before but always simmering in Youngstown's underbelly. Daniel stood, voice steel. He's more family than you've been in years. She left in tears, but the damage rooted deep. Christmas that year was a no-go. Daniel and Isaiah holed up in Philly instead, decorating Isaiah's apartment with dollar store lights and a Charlie Brown tree. They made love by candlelight, slow and deliberate, as if etching promises into skin. Marry me, Isaiah joked, sliding a twist tie onto Daniel's finger. In Jersey, they do it quick. Daniel laughed, but the seed planted. New Year's Eve, they watched the ball drop on a borrowed TV, toasting with Boone's Farm. To us, Daniel said, against the world. Spring brought opportunity and betrayal's first whisper. Daniel landed a gig at a Newark public access station post-graduation, a stepping stone to the big leagues. Isaiah's art was gaining traction. A gallery in Brooklyn wanted his pieces. New York called like a siren. They packed a U-Haul in May, Evelyn's silence a ghost in the rearview. The city swallowed them whole. A walk-up in bed-stewie with peeling wallpaper and roaches like roommates. Daniel hustled additions, his Midwestern earnestness a novelty in cutthroat newsrooms. Isaiah painted feverishly, murals of intertwined lovers blooming on brick walls. Their rhythm was intoxicating, mornings tangled in sheets, evenings at queer bars where hands held without question. Daniel came out fully on Air One Slow News Night, a segment on pride that went viral in niche circles. Love isn't a sin, he said, staring down the lens, Isaiah's ring. Now a cheap silver band, glinting on his finger. Backlash flooded in, trolls, death threats, but also allies. Evelyn's response was a single postcard. Praying for your soul. Mom. Summer sizzled, and so did their love. They road-tripped to Fire Island. Bodies bronzed on beaches where men walked hand in hand. Isaiah sketched Daniel asleep in the dunes, captioning it "My Anchor." But anchors drag. Isaiah's ex from Philly resurfaced. A sculptor named Marcus, all charm and shared trauma. Just coffee, Isaiah swore when Daniel found the texts. Trust frayed like old rope. By August, Daniel's star rose. A producer from the Ellen DeGeneres show, in its final season, scouted him for a segment on young voices in media. "Your coming out piece? Raw. Real." The email read. Isaiah beamed, but his eyes shadowed. "Proud of you, D." That night they fought, first real one. "You're pulling away," Daniel accused, voice raw. "Marcus? Really?" Isaiah's temper flared. "Philly fire. It's nothin'. But you always chasin' the spotlight. What about us?" Words like knives. Selfish, needy, lost. They made up in the dark. Apologies murmured into hair, but the wound suppurated. Fall deepened the divide. Daniel prepped for Ellen, scripting his story. Youngstown roots, forbidden love, Evelyn's denial. Isaiah's gallery show loomed, but sales slumped. "Need to focus," he said, staying late at the studio. Daniel nodded, burying hurt in scripts. One rainy Tuesday, he came home early to find Isaiah on the couch. Marcus's arm slung casual over his shoulder. The air thickened with cologne and lies. "It's not," Isaiah started. But Daniel was out the door, rain soaking his shirt like tears. He crashed at a coworker's, phone silenced. Isaiah's texts piled. "Baby, mistake. Come home." Daniel didn't. Betrayal burned hotter than love ever had. He threw himself into work, the Ellen taping a week away. Evelyn called then, voice frail. "Saw your face on the news. Still prayin'. No apology, just pity." Daniel hung up, chest hollow. The night before the flight to LA, Isaiah showed up at the station. Eyes red-rimmed, flowers wilted in his fist. "I fucked up." Marcus was. "Easy. But you're home." Daniel wavered, the pull magnetic. They talked till dawn in a diner, grease and grief. "Promise me," Daniel whispered. "No more ghosts." Isaiah nodded, sealing it with a kiss tasting of salt. LA glittered like fool's gold. Backstage at Ellen, Daniel's nerves jangled. Isaiah waited in the green room, sketching nervously. "Knock him dead," he said, pecking Daniel's cheek. The stage lights warmed him, Ellen's laugh a lifeline. He spoke of Isaiah. "My rock, my heart, the audience Angie." Then the pivot. "Evelyn. My mom. She denies me. Says I'm not her son." Ellen's eyes softened. "Call her. Live." Daniel froze. The phone was thrust into his hand. Producer whispering go viral. Heart hammering, he dialed. Ring after ring. "Hello." Evelyn's voice wary. The line crackled live to millions. "Ma," Daniel said, throat tight. "It's me, your son." Silence stretched, then her gasp. "Danny." The studio held its breath. Ellen leaning in like a conspirator. The audience a sea of suspended whispers. Daniel's palm slicked the phone. Isaiah's gaze burning from the wings. Hope and fear braided tight. "Ma, I love you," he pressed on. Words tumbling like confession in a box. "Even when you pretend I'm a stranger. I'm standing here on national TV saying your name first because you're still my mother." Evelyn's breath hitched audibly, a sob muffled by static. "Danny, oh God, what have I done?" The line went dead, but the echo lingered, a fracture mending in real time. Cheers erupted, Ellen hugging him fierce. "That's courage, kid." Backstage, Isaiah crushed him in an embrace. "You did it. Holy shit." But triumph soured quick. Daniel's phone exploded. Texts from cousins, "Call her back." Reporters, exclusive follow-up. And Evelyn, "We need to talk. Come home." He stared at it, victory hollow. Isaiah sensed it, rubbing his back. "One step, D. That's all." New York welcomed them back with autumn bite. Leaves carpeting bed-stewy like confetti. The Ellen clip went supernova. Daniel's face plastered on out.com. His inbox a war zone of offers. CNN wanted him for a panel on family rejection in queer America. A podcast pitched, Sons denied. Isaiah's show, buoyed by the buzz, sold out, critics raving about tender intersections of race and desire. They celebrated at a rooftop party in Bushwick, fairy lights strung like stars, queer icons toasting their story. Daniel, buzzed on Rose, pulled Isaiah aside. This is us. Finally. But fame's underbelly gnawed. Trolls doxed their address. Slurs spray-painted on the stoop. Fags go home. Evelyn's silence post-call stretched to weeks. Then a letter arrived, handwritten, postmarked Youngstown. Son, the devil's in the details. Prayer don't fix everything. But I miss my boy. No mention of Isaiah, no apology for the venom. Daniel read it aloud to Isaiah over takeout lo mein, voice cracking. She's trying? Isaiah shrugged, chopsticks pausing. Halfway still stuck. Work pulled them apart. Daniel's schedule ballooned. Interviews till midnight. A book deal whispered. Isaiah dove into commissions, murals for a Harlem nonprofit on Black trans joy. Their bed grew cold, touches fleeting. One night, Daniel came home to Isaiah on the fire escape, joint in hand, city lights reflecting in his eyes. You slippin' away, Isaiah said, not accusatory, just fact. Daniel sank beside him, head on shoulder. Scared. What if she never accepts us? Isaiah exhaled smoke. Then we build without her. But don't leave me in the dust, D. Winter clamped down, snow muffling the city's roar. Holiday lights twinkled mockery as Daniel fielded Evelyn's increasingly frequent calls. Come for New Year's, she urged, voice softer each time. Just you. We can talk. Isaiah encouraged it. Go. Show her the man you are. Daniel flew solo, landing in Cleveland fog, rental car skidding on ice to Youngstown. The house looked smaller, sagging under fresh snow, Evelyn's station wagon dusted white. She met him at the door, apron dusted with flour, eyes wary but wet. No hug, just a nod. Coffee's on. The kitchen was a time capsule, same Formica counters, same chipped mugs. They sat, steam rising like unspoken words. Saw you on that show, she started, stirring sugar endless. Brave, I guess, but foolish. Aaron, family dirt. Daniel's jaw tightened. It's my dirt too, Ma. And Isaiah, he's not dirt. He's my life. Her spoon clattered. A life? Livin' in sin with him. Folks talk. Danny. Church cut me off after your announcement. Guilt twisted like a knife. You chose that. Denied me for them. Evelyn's face crumpled. Hands wringing. I raised you right. Bible says love thy neighbor. Daniel cut in, voice rising. But you couldn't love your son. Silence fell heavy, broken only by the fridge's hum. Then, halting, I prayed, every night, for God to take it away. Daniel stood, chair scraping. It ain't a disease, Ma. It's me. He left her there, tears tracking flower streaks, driving back to the airport with heart leaden. Philly detour on impulse. Isaiah was exhibiting at a pop-up in Fishtown. Daniel crashed the after-party, finding him amid admirers, laughter bright. Surprise, he murmured, pulling Isaiah into a shadowed alcove. Their kiss was desperate, reclaiming. Missed you, Isaiah breathed. They tumbled into a cab, back to Isaiah's old studio, sublet for the show. Making love on a paint-splattered floor, bodies a canvas of need. Morning brought clarity. She's breaking me, Daniel confessed, tracing Isaiah's spine. But you're glue. January thawed tensions. Evelyn sent cookies, burnt-edged, but sent. Daniel reciprocated with a care package. His Ellen clip on DVD, a note, watch. See me. Isaiah's career surged. A TEDx invite for Art as Resistance. Their anniversary fell mid-blizzard, 2 years since that motel. They hunkered in, candles flickering, Daniel cooking Isaiah's grandma's gumbo from memory. To enduring, they toasted. But endurance phrase. Marcus texted Isaiah again. Congrats on the show. Drinks. Deleted unread. But Daniel saw the notification glow. February's full moon brought storm. Daniel's agent pitched a docuseries. Denied no more, trailing his reconciliation arc goldmine. She gushed. Isaiah balked privately. Turning us into spectacle? Daniel waved it off. Exposure. For good. Filming started subtle, home footage. Evelyn interviews, reluctant. Scripted. She appeared on camera once. In her kitchen. I love my son. Always have. Cut to Daniel's eye-roll off mic. Then the leak. A tabloid splashed. TV star's mom spills. Gay son's tragic mistake. Evelyn's words, twisted from a private call, splashed with photoshopped shame. Daniel's phone rang fury. Producers livid. Isaiah distant. You let cameras in our home? Isaiah confronted. Voice low thunder. For ratings. Daniel defended. For truth. But truth splintered. Isaiah stormed out, crashing with Marcus. Just a couch, he swore later. Daniel drowned in edits. Evelyn's voicemails pleading. They lied. I didn't say that. March Madness hit. South by Southwest called Daniel for a panel. Isaiah tagged along. Austin's heat a bomb. They wandered 6th Street hand in hand. Queer film fest flickering passion. Hotel room reconciliation was fire. Isaiah pinning him to silk sheets. You're mine, spotlight or not. Daniel arched, gasping. Always. But morning headlines. Evelyn's church expelled her. Sinner's mother screamed, the Youngstown Gazette. Guilt crashed. Daniel flew home alone, finding her packing boxes, house echoing empty. They want me gone, she wept, clutching a cross. Because of you. He held her then, first embrace in years, her sobs soaking his shirt. Not me, ma. Their hate. They talked, really talked. Nights by the fire, Evelyn admitting fragments. Her own youth, a forbidden crush on a girl at the factory, buried under vows. Feared you'd suffer like I did. Daniel shared Isaiah's sketches, stories of Philly resilience. He's family. Let him be. She nodded, tentative. Try. Isaiah met her via Zoom. Awkward. Isaiah in a button-up, Evelyn clutching tea. Ma'am, he started, voice steady. I love your son. More than art, more than breath. She studied him, lines softening. Call me Evelyn. And welcome. Pixels couldn't hide her tremble, but it was start. Spring bloomed tentative. The docuseries wrapped, raw cuts showing Evelyn's evolution, from denial to doorway. Daniel's book deal solidified, named first. Isaiah's mural for the nonprofit unveiled. 2 figures entwined against a Rust Belt skyline, titled Undenied. They moved, bigger place in Harlem, room for ghosts to visit. But betrayal's shadow lingered. Marcus cornered Isaiah at a gallery opening. He'll leave you for fame. Seeds of doubt. Daniel, meanwhile, fielded flirts from co-hosts, ego stroked. One late edit night, a producer's hand lingered too long. Daniel pulled away, but the what-if whispered. June pride marched them forward. They rode afloat, Evelyn waving from the sidelines. First time, rainbow pin askew on her collar. Proud. Daniel yelled over drums. She nodded, tears free. That night, rooftop party. Isaiah proposed properly, knee in gravel, ring simple gold. Forever. Daniel yes-ed, crowd cheering. July heatwave tested. Evelyn visited New York, bunking on their couch, grilling Isaiah on intentions. Laughter bridged gaps, her biscuits, his collards, a fusion feast. But whispers grew. Daniel's rising star meant travel. Isaiah's solo show in LA pulled him west. 2 weeks, they promised. Distance amplified cracks. Texts cooled. Calls cut short. August betrayal detonated. Daniel in DC for a summit. Phone buzzed. Isaiah's Instagram story. Arm around Marcus at a beach bash. Caption old flames. New vibes. Heart stopped. Voicemail. What the fuck? Isaiah called back frantic. Staged. He crashed. Photo op for buzz. But damage deep. Daniel flew straight to LA. Confronting in the hotel lobby. Voice shattered. Trust? We built on that. Isaiah's eyes pleaded. I swear. Punches not thrown, but words lethal. Liar, coward, done. They separated, city of angels mocking. Daniel holed in his room, scripting pain into pitches. Isaiah vanished into studios, paint his confessor. Evelyn sensed, calling, fight for him, like you fought me. Wisdom late. September winds shifted. Daniel's doc premiered at TIFF, standing ovation for Evelyn's ARC post-screening party. Isaiah appeared. Uninvited, dreads loose, eyes haunted. Watched it alone. You're brilliant. We are. Daniel wavered, hurt raw. Prove it. Isaiah did, public, pulling him into a kiss amid flashes. No more games. Reunion was slow burn. Back in New York, therapy sessions unpacked. Isaiah's abandonment fears. Daniel's spotlight addiction. Evelyn mediated once. Over Skype. Love's messy. Mine was. Fall leaves turned. And so did they, deeper, scarred but sure. October's chill wrapped New York like a cautionary shawl. Frost etching warnings on windows as Daniel and Isaiah navigated their fragile rebuild. The apartment in Harlem hummed with tentative harmony. Isaiah's easel back in the corner. Daniel's scripts scattered like autumn debris. They'd instituted no-phone Fridays. Dinners by candlelight where confessions flowed freer than wine. I pushed you away 'cause I feared losing you, Isaiah admitted one night, fork midway to gumbo. Daniel squeezed his hand. And I chased lights to outrun my dark. Vulnerability bonded them tighter, a scar tissue stronger than skin. Evelyn's visits became ritual. She'd arrive by bolt from the airport, tote bag bulging with Ohio treats, Buckeyes and bad advice. Don't let that city eat your soul, she'd warn. But her eyes sparkled at Isaiah's latest piece. A portrait of her own younger self, fierce and unspoken. You see too much, boy. Isaiah grinned. Artist's curse. Daniel watched them, heart swelling. Mother and almost mother-in-law, bridging chasms with small talk and shared recipes. She even attended a PFLAG meeting in the Bronx, returning shell-shocked but softened. Good folks. Hurt like us. Work wove in. Daniel's book hit shelves, named first climbing queer lit charts. Endorsements from Dan Savage and a foreword by Ellen herself. Signings packed Brooklyn bookstores, fans queuing with stories mirroring his. My dad walked out. Your words? Lifeline. Isaiah illustrated the paperback, subtle line art of hands clasped over Bible pages. His own buzz grew. A MoMA residency beckoned, 6 months in Berlin. Come? He asked over post-reading champagne. Daniel hesitated, agent dangling a Netflix special. Rain check. Worlds colliding. Remember? Collision came swift. November elections loomed, air thick with division. Anti-LGBT bills snaking through Congress, pundits foaming on Fox. Daniel's platform amplified. He debated on MSNBC, voice steady against slurs. Denial isn't protection. It's erasure. Backlash surged. Death threats to the apartment. Evelyn's church picketed with repent signs. She called voice quaking. They're comin' for me too, son. Because of you. Guilt gnawed. Stay put, ma. We'll handle. Isaiah handled with art. A protest mural on a Williamsburg wall. Daniel's face intertwined with his, caption undeniable. It went viral, hashtags exploding. Named first. But virality invited vultures. A rival journalist, hungry for clicks, dug dirt. Leaked emails from Daniel's intern days. Flirty banter with a mentor misconstrued as scandal. TV darling's secret affairs? Blared Gawker. Isaiah saw it first over coffee, face ashen. This true. Daniel's stomach dropped. Twisted. Kid stuff. But doubt flickered in Isaiah's eyes. Old Marcus ghost stirring. The fight erupted that evening. Snow flurrying outside like fleeing thoughts. You hid this. Isaiah paced, dread swinging. While preaching truth, Daniel's temper flared. Ancient history. You're dredging for what? Ammunition. Words escalated. Opportunist, insecure, broken. Isaiah grabbed his coat. Need air. He didn't return till dawn, crashing on the couch. sketchpad clutched like shield. Morning brought regret. Daniel brewed peace. Isaiah's favorite, chicory-laced. I should have told you. All cards down. Isaiah nodded, weary. Trusts a mural takes layers. But one crack. They layered anyway, therapy doubling down. Evelyn weighed and unasked. Men are fools. But love? Stubborn as rust. Her own news. Dating a widower from church, gentle and questioning. He asks about you too. Says it's brave. Daniel beamed. Tell him Isaiah's the brave one. December dashed hopes. Isaiah's Berlin offer firmed. Full funding, prestige. 6 months. Then forever. Daniel's Netflix gig locked. 6 episodes. DC-based. Overlaps suck. They decided together. Isaiah to Europe, Daniel to Beltway. Skype dates. Isaiah joked. But jokes masked fear. New Year's Eve. They rang in on the rooftop. Evelyn joining via FaceTime from Youngstown. Her widower's arm visible. Fireworks burst. But their kiss tasted bittersweet. January severed. Isaiah's flight out. Daniel driving to JFK. Wipers battling sleet. At security, embrace lingered. Paint me the world, Daniel whispered. Isaiah's grin crooked. Bring it home. Weeks blurred. Daniel in DC studio. Scripting Hearts Unnamed. A series on queer family riffs. Calls with Isaiah crackled. Berlin's gray inspiring. But lonely. Miss your chaos, Isaiah said, showing snow-dusted spree. Evelyn thrived. Her beau proposing over pierogies. Say yes, ma. She did, beaming. February frost deepened isolation. Daniel's series greenlit, but shoots meant travel, Atlanta, then LA. Isaiah's residency shown. Solo exhibit, critics swooning raw intersectionality. But distance distorted. Late-night texts from mutuals. Isaiah spotted at a Berlin club, dancing close with a curator. Just networking, Isaiah swore. Daniel nodded, but paranoia bloomed. His own temptations. A charming grip on set, easy smile. Not Isaiah, he reminded, deleting numbers. March betrayal redux. A fan vid surfaced. Isaiah and the curator, lips brushing in a gallery afterparty. Grainy but damning. Daniel confronted via video, face thunderous. Again? Berlin's your excuse. Isaiah's denial crumbled under jet lag. One kiss. Stupid. Lonely. Daniel's world tilted. I'm fighting for us here. Series, book tour, and you're. He logged off, tears hot. Evelyn called sensing storm. Fly to him. Words ain't bridges. Daniel booked red eye, landing in Berlin fog. Confrontation in Isaiah's flat. Cold stone walls, canvases leaning like accusations. I came to end it, Daniel said, bag dropping. Isaiah's face fell. Don't. Please. Truth spilled. Curators advance. Isaiah's rebuff too late for cameras. You're my north, D. Always. They raged, then collapsed. Sex a battlefield, reclaiming territory. Morning, over strudel, plans reformed. Isaiah cutting residency short. Daniel pitching remote episodes. April bloomed reconciliation. Back in New York, they dove into healing, couples retreat in the Catskills, hikes where hands linked natural. Evelyn's wedding loomed, small Ohio chapel. You walk me? She asked. Daniel yes-ed, Isaiah best man. Ceremony was quiet grace. Her in lace, bows vows simple. Reception under tense. Isaiah's toast. Evelyn, you named him first in your heart. We all did. Tears flowed. Dances awkward but joyful. May marked pivot. Daniel's series premiered. Critics lauding visceral, human. Viewership spiked, his name whispered for Emmys. Isaiah's Berlin pieces sold. Funding a studio co-op in the Bronx. They adopted a rescue mutt, Rusty. All wiry fur and wags. Symbol of strays finding home. Pride that year, they marched with Evelyn, her sign. Proud mom of a gay son. Media swarmed, but they waved, united. June heat tested metal. A book tour pulled Daniel cross-country. Isaiah holding fort with Rusty. Text steamy. Miss your ink on my skin. But tour temptations loomed. Admirers slipping cards. loneliness in hotel hives. One Seattle night, after a signing, a fan lingered. Lithe writer, eyes knowing. Dinner turned flirty. Daniel bolted, calling Isaiah at 3 a.m. Almost slipped. Isaiah's voice steady. Come home. We're enough. July's dog days brought crisis. Evelyn's cancer diagnosis, breast, stage 2, hit like thunderclap. Routine check, she downplayed on call. Daniel flew immediate, Isaiah packing art supplies for distraction. Youngstown hospital sterile, her room a battlefield of beeps. Fought worse, she quipped, but eyes betrayed fear. Chemo started, Daniel shuttling between coasts, series on hold, Isaiah's co-op delayed. Family first, Isaiah said, rubbing Daniel's back during vigils. August deepened bonds. Isaiah painted Evelyn, a portrait of resilience, chemo bandana framing defiant smile. She hung it proud. My boys, she'd say, squeezing hands. Daniel's vulnerability peaked. Scared I'll lose you before. She shushed. You named me first on TV. That's forever. Remission whispers by month's end, clean scans. Relief party in Harlem. Collards, biscuits, toasts to warriors. September steadied. Daniel resumed shoots, incorporating Evelyn's story, guest spot, her voice cracking live. Isaiah's co-op opened, murals of survival themes drawing crowds. Their love matured, less fire, more hearth. Anniversary hike in the Palisades, Rusty bounding ahead. 5 years, Isaiah marveled. Daniel knelt, ring upgrade glinting. Marry me proper? Yes, again. October winds whispered change. Wedding plans brewed, small Hudson Valley barn. Queer officiant. Invites to allies, Evelyn beaming center. But shadows stirred. Daniel's agent pitched reality spin-off, Harper Hearts. Too much, Isaiah queried. Daniel paused. Us first. November elections passed turbulent, rights eroded, but their vote cast together, fists raised. Evelyn volunteered at local PFLAG, her voice newfound weapon. December snowed joy. Rusty's first white Christmas. Tree trimmed with Isaiah's ornaments. January New Year, new vows. Ceremony crisp autumn gold. Daniel in linen, Isaiah in velvet, Evelyn walking Daniel, tears free. I do, they echoed, rings exchanged under oaks. Reception danced till dawn, Rusty stealing cake. February honeymoon, Italy, canals and canvases. Love lazy, rediscovered. Back home, life layered. Daniel's Emmy nod, Isaiah's Guggenheim grant, Evelyn's book club on queer lit. March bloomed full. But in quiet moments, Daniel reflected the hook of that TV stage, Evelyn's name a lifeline. Betrayals forged, not broke. Human, messy, there's April showers painted New York in tentative greens, the city shrugging off winter's grip as Daniel and Isaiah settled into married rhythm. A duet honed by discord's edge. Their Harlem brownstone, once a chaotic canvas, now breathed intention. Isaiah's studio sunlit in the turret, Daniel's writing nook overlooking the stoop where Rusty patrolled like a fuzzy sentinel. Morning started synced. Coffee black for Isaiah. Splash of oat milk for Daniel. Poring over wedding photos on the fridge, Evelyn's grin widest among them. We're stuck now, Daniel teased, nuzzling Isaiah's neck. For better or worse. Isaiah's laugh rumbled low. Worse? We've danced that tango. Evelyn's post-chemo glow amplified her reinvention. She and her husband, now calling him Pops with wry affection, traveled light. A camper van looping the Rust Belt, stopping in Youngstown for her volunteer shifts at the LGBTQ Center. Who'd have thought? She marveled during weekly calls, voice laced with wonder. Me handing out flags at the fair. Daniel's series, buoyed by her episode, snagged a renewal season 2 delving deeper, reclaimed roots. Casting her as consultant felt poetic. She scripted lines with surprising bite. No more whisperin'. Shout it. Isaiah's Guggenheim fueled fire. His grant proposal interwoven denials. Race, faith, and desire earned whispers of MacArthur. Exhibitions dotted coasts. SMOMA, then Chicago's Cultural Corridor. Daniel tagged along when shoots aligned, their love a portable hearth amid hotel transients. One Chicago night, post-gala, they slipped into a jazz club off Michigan Avenue, saxophone wailing like old wounds. "Remember our first dance?" Isaiah murmured, swaying close. Daniel hummed. Awkward as hell. Laughter bridged years, hands laced natural. But harmony hummed undercurrents. Fame's double blade cut anew. Daniel's rising profile drew suitors, persistent emails from producers, dinner to discuss collabs, veiling intent. He forwarded them to Isaiah, transparency their pact. Isaiah's world swirled admirers too, collectors with lingering gazes, artists proposing joint explorations. One LA trip, a gallerist overstepped, hand on thigh during critiques. Isaiah rebuffed sharp, happily married, but vented to Daniel later, voice edged. "Feels like testin' waters." Daniel pulled him close. "Ours run deep. No ripples needed." May's warmth coaxed vulnerability. Rusty fell ill, tumor scare, surgery looming. They hovered at the vet, Isaiah sketching the mutt's floppy ears for distraction. "Our boy's a fighter," he said, echoing Evelyn. Clean margins brought relief. Post-op cuddles on the couch, family whole. Evelyn visited for recovery duty, spoiling Rusty with treats, quizzing them on baby names. "Not yet," Daniel laughed. "But someday." Her eyes twinkled. Grandkids, rainbow ones. June pride swelled unprecedented. As grand marshals for Harlem's march, they rode convertible, Evelyn perched beside, sign aloft. From denial to dynasty. Crowds roared, confetti raining like blessings. Daniel's speech, "Mike hot, heart hotter," wove their tapestry. "Love named us first. Now we name the future." Isaiah's arm around him, solid. Post-parade, block party pulsed. Drag queens lip-syncing Motown, food trucks fusing soul and scripture. Evelyn two-stepped with pops, surprising all. July's haze hid heat. Daniel's Emmy campaign ramped. Interviews relentless, red carpets starched. Isaiah opted low-key, preferring studio shadows. Tension simmered during a Hollywood junket. Daniel's co-star, a charismatic non-binary actor, flirted shameless on set. Clips leaked, tabloids twisting. Harper's steamy set romance? Isaiah saw mid-mural, brush pausing. Call came measured. "Talk to me." Daniel explained prop chemistry but hurt laced Isaiah's tone. "Feels like Marcus 2.0. Daniel flew back immediate, finding Isaiah on the fire escape. City sprawl indifferent. "You're my only plot twist." They talked till stars wheeled, reaffirming vows in whispers. August betrayal's echo resounded elsewhere. Evelyn's center faced funding cuts, state bills slashing queer programs. "Back to the dark ages," she fumed, rallying petitions. Daniel amplified on his platform, op-ed in the Times. Mother's March, faith without fear. Isaiah designed protest graphics, bold, unapologetic. United, they fundraised. Gala at their brownstone, donors mingling with murals. Success tasted sweet, but Evelyn confided post-event. "Pops, he's struggling. Old wounds from his church days." Daniel listened, heart aching. "Love him through it, like you did me." September's equinox balanced scales. Isaiah's MacArthur Genius grant dropped. $625K. Freedom ticket. Celebration spilled. Rooftop bash. Evelyn toasting via video from a Rust Belt rally. "My genius sons." Daniel's series won a glad. Acceptance tearful. Dedicating to the deniers who dared love. Backstage, Isaiah's kiss grounded. Proud doesn't cover it. October crispness clarified dreams. Baby talk turned real, surrogacy consults. Isaiah's sketches of nursery murals. Little artists, he dreamed. Evelyn offered egg donor quip. Too old, but spirits young. Laughter healed. November's chill brought crossroads. Daniel's agent pitched network anchor slot. Prime time, DC relocate. Isaiah's grant eyed European expansion. "Choose us," Isaiah said. Not ultimatum, but plea. Daniel weighed. Fame's siren versus hearth. Harlem stays home. He turned it down, pitching podcast instead. First names, intimate stories. December twinkled triumph. Holidays tripled. Hanukkah nods for Isaiah's heritage. Christmas with Evelyn's clan expanded. Pop's kids. Queer cousins. Tree groaned under ornaments. Camp trinkets. Wedding tags. Rusty's paw prints. New Year's. Rooftop again. To unbreaking. They clinked. January thawed into possibility. Surrogacy match found. Journey launched. Ultrasounds ahead. Evelyn's center secured grant, her as director. From stitches to stories, she marveled. February's frost nipped doubts. Isaiah's exhibit toured Berlin Redux, but with Daniel scripting companion audio tour. Our story voiced. March Madness bloomed, baby news. Positive test. Joy flooded. Names brainstormed. Daniel's hand on Saget's bump via Zoom. Evelyn knitted booties. Isaiah painted cradle. April showers gifted growth. Pregnancy milestones marked. First kick. Shared via video. Daniel's podcast launched. Episodes raw. Evelyn guesting on Naming Grace. May's warmth welcomed worry. Braxton Hicks scared. They rallied. Isaiah's art therapy for all. Tiny warrior. He captioned ultrasound sketch. June pride. Bump blessed. They marched slower. Evelyn shielding. Speech. This child names love first. July heat swelled belly and hearts. Nesting frenzy. Murals of intertwined families. August dog days delivered. Boy born. Cries echoing promise. Named Elias, the Lord is my God, nod to roots. Evelyn held first. Tears. My grandson. Perfect. September steadied parenthood. Sleepless nights, but love amplified. Isaiah's lullabies. Daniel's stories. October winds whispered wonder. Elias' first smile, rusty guardian. November's gratitude. Family photos. Evelyn's toast. From denial to dynasty. Indeed. December closed circle. First Christmas. Elias in Santa onesie, all whole. January's New Year dawned with Elias gurgles. A symphony softening Harlem's horns into lullabies. Daniel and Isaiah parented intuitively. Diaper dashes tag-teamed. Midnight feeds trading off with bleary grins. We're naturals. Isaiah yawned one dawn. Cradling their son against his chest. Tiny fist clutching dreadlock. Daniel snapped a photo, heart full. Or just stubborn. Evelyn's visits tripled. Her role grandma fierce. Spoiling with Ohio onesies. Reading Bible tales sans brimstone. David and Jonathan. She'd wink. Loved deep. Pops tagged along. Bonding over bottle duty, his quiet faith evolving. Work wove around wonder. Daniel's podcast surged. First names top charts. Episodes on queer parenting drawing tears. Isaiah's grant extended domestic. Residency at a Bronx family arts center. Murals co-created with neighborhood kids. Elias baptism. Secular twist. Hudson River picnic. Gathered tribe. Ellen zooming blessings. Center allies toasting. Evelyn's prayer soft. May he know only love. February's frost framed fragility. Elias colic peaked. Cries piercing nights like accusations. Isaiah's patience frayed, snapping once. I can't. Daniel soothed, but tension simmered. Therapy revisited. Parental edition. Unpacking dad fears. Isaiah confessed. Philly streets. Never saw fathers stay. Daniel held space. We're staying. Messy. But here. Breakthrough came mid-feed. Elias quieting to their duet hum. March Madness mellowed into milestones. First tooth, first crawl, videoed for Evelyn, her squeals tinny over line. Daniel's series wrapped season 2 triumph. Finale Evelyn's monologue. I named him mine. Ratings soared, but he stepped back, prioritizing bottles over briefs. April showers coaxed Elias words. Data first, Isaiah melting. Cheater, Daniel teased. Gallery show followed. Inherited lines, pieces blending Daniel's stories with Isaiah's strokes. Elias' handprints smudged in. May's bloom brought bumps. Center funding teetered again. Politics pendulum. Isaiah rallied, murals as petitions. Daniel amplified, op-ed storming, art for the unnamed. Victory small. Grant salvaged, but exhaustion lingered. June pride pulsed paternal. Elias in tiny rainbow sling. They marched, slower, sweeter. Speech tag team. Isaiah on legacy, Daniel on light. Evelyn, carrying Elias, sign, grandma's pride. July's heat hatched harmony. Family Vaki, Cape Cod cabin, waves lapping lessons. Elias first sandcastle, Isaiah sketching, Daniel scripting beach tales. Evenings bonfire bound, stories swapped. Evelyn's factory flirts, Isaiah's grandma hymns. August's dog days deepened doubts. Isaiah's wanderlust whispered, solo Berlin invite. Just a month. Daniel's got twisted. Elias needs you. Compromise. Family trip, but tension trailed. Airport goodbye for Daniel's quick DC shoot. Trust the map we drew. September's equinox evened edges. Isaiah returned inspired. Co-op classes booming. Elias walked, wobbly to arms, cheers echoing. October crispness crystallized careers. Daniel's book two pitched. Echoes named. Elias inspired. Isaiah's MacArthur panel. Parenting the palate. November's chill challenged. Evelyn's checkup flagged. Remission wobble. Spots suspicious. Family converged. Youngstown. Tests tense. Clean bill brought catharsis. Dodged again. She laughed. But fragility etched. December twinkled traditions. Elias' second Christmas. Toddler terror on tree. Rusty accomplice. Gifts wrapped love. Isaiah's custom book. Daniel's lullaby album. January turned 3. Elias cake smash. Frosting frenzy. Podcast special. Tiny voices. Kids queer tales. February framed futures. Surrogacy round 2 mulled girl dreams. Evelyn's center expanded. Youth program her baby. March's thawed tensions. Isaiah's exhibit toured DC. Family road trip. Elias monument mazed. April bloomed baby 2. Positive joy doubled. Pregnancy pampered. Ultrasounds art. May's warmth welcomed worry. Braxton early. Bed rest decreed. Isaiah stepped up. Daniel hovering. June pride bump again. Elias waved flags. Speech. Our dynasty grows. July delivered daughter Leora, my light. Cries chorus to Elias babbles. August steadied siblings. Sleepless symphony, but love amplified. Nursery murals, story hours. September start. Leora milestone, first smile sibling shared. October winds wove wholeness. Family photos. 5 now unbreakable. November gratitude. Evelyn's toast. From one son to this, blessed. December closed decade. 10th anniversary. Rooftop vow renewal. Kids flower girls. Evelyn efficient wannabe. Years layered. Elias 5. Artist in training. Leora 3. Storyteller supreme. Daniel anchored mornings NPR Voice National. Isaiah's walls worldwide. Message undenied. Evelyn, 70 fierce, center matriarch, pops her steady. Trials trailed. Teen Elias coming out echo. Crushes questioned. Parents guiding gentle. Leora's curiosity on colors. Love's spectrum. Losses too. Pop's quiet pass. Grief grieved together. But core endured. One spring evening, Daniel found Isaiah on the stoop. Kids asleep inside. Rusty gray muzzled. Remember that TV stage? Daniel sat close. Isaiah nodded, arm around. Named her first. Changed everything. Evelyn joined, rocking chair creak. And I'd name you again. Every time. Sunset gilded them. Family forged in fire, named in light. American as apple pie cracked open, revealing rainbow heart. Love, undenied, eternal. In that moment Daniel understood. Not the hook, not the climax, but the quiet after, the naming that stuck. His mother, his husband, his children. First, last, always.